Hi everyone, this is Koinzell here. So today we're going to do a video of the change of from Dark Knight Ascension to Dark Knight Awakening, i.e. from shadow to darkness. So the before we start, right, I thought I'd just show you guys how the screen looks like when you get an pink or ancient item while in sleep mode. So likely I think I have some other items, maybe something red or orange, right? That's why the pink is not so strong. It's a mix of colors here. Otherwise, the pink is actually much pinker. Okay, so let's see what I got overnight. Yep, but I thought there is a red item here as well. Lower the volume. Okay, so like I thought, right, there is a red item here as well. That's why the color was not that pink. It's a mix between the pink and red. So not a bad night. We have gotten one of the scroll for the relic inscription. Material for crafting pink accessories. XP scroll. The item for crafting red episode totem. 12k dark currency, but bear in mind that there is a bonus event of 200%. That's why we need so much. Okay, pretty nice. Okay, okay, not like I can refresh. Well, the best would actually be this. Okay, so this is still my LAN. I left her overnight to farm. Okay. So without further ado, let's switch to the shadow. Then we can do the class change. This is darkness. Overnight we got 5 billion XP. Okay, let's turn this on. Okay, so before I do the change, right, let's take a quick look through the shadow skills. So let's see if I have any that is more than level 1. May not be the case because I've extracted off skill XP to give to my LAN previously. Because what I'm trying to show you guys, right, is that once you do the Ascension to Awakening or vice versa, right, your skill level actually retains. Oh my god, why is it like? Okay. So let's just take a quick look through the skill damages. One thing you'll notice once I change to the Awakening class is that the percentage skill damage, right, is higher. But she attacks slower, the Awakening version, Darkness. These two skills, however, are actually very high in skill damage percentage. Yeah. Okay. My mouse is not showing for some reason. Okay. So. Okay, sorry. Found it. This happens sometimes with my recording software. The mouse tends to flicker and disappear. Okay, so in order to do the class change, this is the scroll required. Now I have this because previously when they gave it out for Raven, I made a mistake and accepted it on my LAN. So it became a character, sorry, not LAN, on my shadow, and it became a character binding item, which is why I have a spare scroll here while I had to delete the Raven to do a Reaper previously. So basically this scroll is very straightforward. It allows you to change from Awakening to Ascension and vice versa. So I think there is already some bug in your current Black Desert Global where somebody, when they ascended their DK, right, they actually got this screw. By right, you should not be getting that screw unless they are planning as part of the event. But even for us, right, we have never gotten this screw before in terms of like when we do Ascension or Awakening. This screw is typically only given as an event when they release the actual Awakening or Ascension. But this item, right, the trick here is that the catch here, right, is that when they release 3 classes, for example, they may only give you one, so you have to decide which one to use the free event one on. Now, so what about the 2 that did not receive the scroll in my example? So you can actually buy it from the cash shop or per shop. So this is the same item. You can buy it for 100 million, but this is one time only per character. Once you do that, right, the next time if you still want to change between Awakening and Ascension, right, you have to spend 6,000 black pearls, which is the reason why I deleted my Raven and restarted a Reaper instead, because I'm not going to spend the 6,000 black pearls on an alternate character. Okay, so now since I already have it, right, I'm probably not going to buy it because who knows, maybe there's some bonus event in future, then I'll buy it. So since I have it, I'll use it now. But there is something that I will need to buy here. This is effectively the weapon and sub-weapon exchange scroll. Once you buy this, right, it will give you 2 of the scroll, one for main, one for sub. So it's only 10 million and there's no limit to the purchase for this. So at least that's not so bad. Okay, so this also means that, right, when you're doing certain class change or something, right, if it happens that the Awakening or Ascension version uses the same weapon as the other class, then it is something that it can be used for that. So take for example, the Titan is using the same sub weapon as Shadow. So if you are changing from Shadow to Berserker, for example, you don't actually need to spend 6,000 black pearls to change the sub weapon. You can use this to change. So that's the plus point of it. For example, if you change from Shadow to Berserker, if you change from Darkness to Berserker, right, you still can use this one time 10 million scroll to change it to the Shadow sub weapon, then give it to the Giant. Use this scroll on the Giant, and it will be changed to the Berserker sub weapon without having to spend 6,000 black pearls. So that is one way to do the sub weapon or weapon change if it so happens that it's the same between the 2 classes. Okay, at least one of it, the ascending or ascension. Another example would be between the warrior and paladin. They are using the same main weapon. Okay, so let's go to. Oh, I actually bought this before, I forgot. Okay, so now I have this scroll. We can do the weapon change and the class change. So let's do it without further ado. Sorry, actually I could have just triggered from here. So use. So you see that immediately, right? It allows you to choose either the Awakening or Ascension, depending on what you are currently. And there's actually no need to do any more quests, Awakening quest or Ascension quest, because you already completed it on your character. Okay, so you see here at the bottom, right? It asks you whether, basically it's asking you whether you want to change your weapon, sub weapon and main weapon by using that scroll that I bought just now, the 10 million one, or you want to maintain your equipment. But it does mention here that your weapon costume, right, cannot be changed, which makes sense because the weapon has changed, your main weapon has changed. Okay, so yes, I'm going to change my weapons. As you can see here, the skills have been different already. this mentions here that your skill XP will be transferred. So let's say even the percentage will be transferred, not just the skill level as well. Okay. So it's a full one-to-one transfer based on the position of the skill. Okay. So first off, right, you'll see that her main weapon is now this. Oh wait, I think it's not auto attacking. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the skill panel itself. Okay. So first off, right off the bat, right, you'll see that her first skill is a so-called melee skill, but although it swings twice, right, it actually hits for 5 hits, and each hit is 320%. So even her first skill itself is already 1500%, 1600% damage. The only catch here is that the swing is somewhat slow, and the range is also not that great. Okay. There's also no special branch damage here. This gives you an attack buff. This gives bleeding effect. Okay, so this is a skill where she has super armor and is applied in arena. Does a pretty nice damage, almost close to 1600% again. In PvP it's about 300 times 4 is about 1200. And it does recover a bit of MP. Now, this has a branch system. So this is what we're gonna do. This has a 10% AoE increase and attack debuff. This is a skill that will be useful in PvP given the fact it has super armor. Okay, next up, this is somewhat similar to the Raven skill, right, where she swings her hand and darkness energy is swing out. So she gets to swing twice. Decent AoE, decent range on this, by the way. Okay, let's reset the position. Okay, so you see that the range is actually very decent, and it has a knockdown effect. So you can tell that this is actually very good in arena when you use this, right, to attack and then use the one of the later skills which I'll talk about later. The only thing is the cooldown is a bit long, which is 7 seconds. Okay, so super armor but not effective in arena. PvP is 273 times 3 at level 1. PvE is quite nice, 375 times 3. So the 375 times 3 is for 1 hit. So when you do 2 hits, right, like this in the double swing, right, it's actually times 2 the damage, so times 6 in total. So very nice damage. So right off the bat, right, you see that the darkness skills, right, has much higher skill damage in return for slower speed in terms of either the animation or the cooldown. Okay, so click arrow for this. Attack buff and HP recovery. Okay, she really likes to pose. So this is a 3 swing attack. Now let me turn off the branch system first. So we use this here. Defense debuff. So it's really slow if you compare to the shadow skills, right? But the damage is slightly higher, it's 432. So if I were to compare it to that massacre skill that the shadow has, the one where you swing 4 hits in succession, right? Very quick, right? This is very slow in comparison. Now, although it's a good PvE skill, actually it's not that good of a PvE skill because it's also melee, but it's fine because it has super armor. So it's a skill that will still be used. Okay. And it still has some merit in using in PvP when you knock down your opponent. Okay, this is her range skill, where effectively she throws daggers on her opponent. Nothing much to shout about. Cooldown is 7 seconds. This also 7 seconds. Okay, so every hit is 400% level 1. The most you can do is 4. 4 of these daggers throwing. So it looks like this. The range for this is actually pretty good. It's actually a good skill in PvE, especially in Fields of Valor when the mobs are weak and the whole point is to kill as many mobs as possible. Then this is a good skill. Okay, so L branch. This allows you the skill one more time, meaning you get to throw another 4 more times. Then this is movement speed debuff and bleeding effect. Okay. So next up is her dash attack. Very straightforward, super armor, a bit of the stun, then damage is not that high though. Yep, so looks like this. Given that it's a dash attack, it has to be fast, right? Yeah, so that's how it looks like. Let's look at the distance. Distance is pretty standard for a dash attack, quite far. Now this skill has a massive amount of damage at one hit itself. 1430 at level 1 for PvE and PvP is 1237. It has super armor but not effective in arena, and also has a not bad effect. Now on top of that, right, if I look at the I had to pause the video a bit just now. Okay, so if I look at the skill effects, right, we have L for branch. This is crit rate buff. This is a 10% AoE increase and a cooldown reduction of 3 seconds. So this will make this 9 seconds, which is really quite nice. Okay, so this is another dash attack that she has, right, where while she dashes through, she deals damage. So damage is not that fantastic, but it is just a mobility skill, I would say, together with a bit of super armor. Like this, so you see that she actually dashes past her opponent. Now this has a cooldown reduction of 2 seconds, making it 8 seconds, so pretty decent. Okay, this is her AoE skill. Okay, actually let me go back to town to set up my skills, etc. I'll show later on in the gameplay of Darkness. Okay, so let's go back to the skills. Okay, so I was here. The Vadir Trap, literally translated is Vadir's Trap. So this skill can be used twice, cooldown of 8 seconds, but there is a cooldown reduction here, 2 seconds at level 4. So that will make it 6 seconds, which immediately tells you that this is a nice PV damage, but the catch here is that there is no super armor. So this is quite bad. This is not arena skill for sure as well, because you look at the PvP damage, right? It is actually much lower than the PvE damage as opposed to other skills. Typically when you have 340 plus, right, the PvP damage should be about 240 plus, for example. Now this is only 183. And no super armor. The only good thing is that the animation is quite fast, but the problem is while standing still, you are completely exposed. It's not an arena skill for sure. It is a PvE skill for sure. Let's go to Yellow Brief. Other than the cooldown 2 second reduction, we have 5% attack speed debuff and defense debuff. Okay, this is something new. Personally, when I use the Awakening in the past, right, this Darkness in the past, right, this is the 12th skill, which I have never tried before. Let me just take a look at it. So cooldown reduction is 10 seconds, but there is a reduction of 3 seconds at level 3. So 7 seconds make it quite nice. Damage is actually quite decent. but there's no special effects and no branch as well. Debuff is bleeding and movement speed debuff. The good thing is that it's a very fast animation. However, the range looks to be a bit lacking. Yeah, it's a pure melee damage, melee skill. AoE does not look that big to me as well, but probably we'll know once we try it out further. Okay. Now, this is the standard level 70 buff skill. So it gives 40 attack and 10% movement speed and HP recovery, the dodge cooldown reduction, all these pretty standard. This as well, blast spirit, rage, crit damage. This is just a normal attack, so this is how it looks like. And there's a few versions. It really looks cool, but the damage is terrible, given that it's just a normal attack. Okay, why is not this is not equipped? These should be equipped. For sure, these as well. PvE. I'll probably drop this. Drop this in favor for these. So I just want to say that, right? Previously when I used Darkness, right, the skill damage percentage were all much lower. They actually buffed the character by quite a bit. Especially this skill. Previously, right, I think the base was at level 1, it was something like 900+%, if I'm not wrong. So they actually buffed it by a lot. Okay. So this and this has to go onto the same panel because they are used for the combo along with the dash attack. So okay, let me do a PvE one first. Okay, PvE, I do not need a dash attack. I do not need this. We do have the dagger skill, right? Okay. So yeah, this is pretty fine for PvE auto attacking. Now for PvP, it will be so the concept is to dash, use this with super armor. Then these are two skills that you can use from range. Once you use this, ready to combo with this. That is the high level concept of it. Second, dagger is not a great choice in PvP. Okay, so for the second panel, we have a dash attack here. The dagger here. We will need to get the buff, the 70 buff. Okay, let me just move the skills around a bit. So here, dash attack would be the same as my previous. This is a range, so I'm having range here, so I'll put the range here as well. And finally, between this and this skill, right? Because both of them is just about damage without any special effects, right? Other than having a bit of knockback and knockdown. But this does have the branch system. Damage is lower though. So to me, right, it's a toss-up between these two skills for the final slot. But honestly, most of the time when you're doing arena, you'll be using these first 4 skills rather than the bottom 4. Yep. Okay, so we will use this. Okay, so this is for PvP. Sorry, throughout this video, right, you'll see me pausing and unpausing my recording, so the screen may jump here and there. But the main problem is because there's some issue with my recording software where the mouse keeps flickering and disappearing. Okay, so this is the PVE. Right, so let's do a bit of endgame content just to show you guys. I can do boss rush since we have event for boss rush to clear. Oh wait, sorry, I was in the correct one. Between the alien mode and the Hadou mode. Wait, before that, let's go to look at the costumes. So first off, right off the bat, I actually need to forge a new weapon costume. Okay, I think I need to go to my wardrobe. Yep, this is the one that we need to take out. You need to spend 30 million silver just to take out something from the wardrobe. Now with this, we can I need to first unlock it. Then we can go and do some fusion on the weapon. This gives me this is terrible. Okay, but nonetheless, since this is just an alternate character now, I'm not going to do many rounds. So now we have the effect of the costume here together with the look. So the golden version looks like this. Now if I go to the cash shop costumes, so wow, this actually fits her very well. The angel costume, this armor, right, versus the weapon and the two swords behind. But only problem is that her wings block the swords. So if you use this, it's quite bare bones. This is not too bad. This is actually very nice. This is the natural part of the costume itself, so it fits very nicely with the weapon, her main weapon, which actually is the glove now. This is the darkness default costume, so to speak, the one where they always show during the promotions, etc. for darkness. This is for Dark Knight. Yeah, other classes really. Personally, I see quite a few nice options. Wow, okay, it's the first time I'm seeing this. This is the Angel version. So okay, now it makes sense because the weapon has to be huge enough so that even with the wings you can still see it. This is a new one where it's supposed to match the ant costume, the one that gives you all the buffs to farming, etc. This is new also. This is the desert one. So for those functional costumes, right, they actually added new weapon costumes for us. I'm not sure whether you guys have it as well. Yeah, the costume options are actually quite nice. I'm not going to spend on them because I have white pearls right now. This is her default promotional weapon. Okay. Right. So what we'll do now is to do some content, some endgame play. I'm probably going to do the very last boss at level 99 difficulty, which is actually higher CP than what I have. So it won't be like the previous time when I showed you guys Tamer hitting the boss. Well, at least there is a bit of challenge here, I think. So first off, let's use auto attack and see how it pans out. And show you guys the flow of her skills. Ouch. Oh, shucks, I don't have any potions on me yet. Might die actually. Anyway, if I die, then I'll just equip potions later. I forgot to change to the boss pet as well. Okay, I'm out of dodges. Okay, let me get potions first. Sorry, these are alternate characters, so my alternate characters have no potions on them. Probably don't need the highest grade potion. Right. Pet to boss pet. Okay. Boss pet here. Only bad thing is that you scroll all the way to the last boss. Okay. This boss is also very high on the damage. Okay, just okay, it's 90% already. And the other thing is that there are pillars here which your characters, when doing auto attack, will go attack them instead. Okay, what? Okay, there is a bug because that pillar shouldn't be that hard to attack. Actually, I should have used Shadow, right, to play against this boss so that you guys can actually see the difference, huh? Before I swapped. But the difference I would say, right, is that Darkness has range, while Shadow is very melee. And Darkness has two dash attacks as well. Oh, level up. So I would say her DPS is fairly okay, given that this boss actually has a higher CP. Now if we go to the lower CP bosses, let's see the difference, 5k CP. Probably should be about 1 hit. Yep, it's about there. So let's go to the maps instead to see her PvE. Okay, we can go Hadou mode for a while, just to show. Even though I do not have any of the holy water potion on this character. So this is the same map that I was in when I showed the Shadows PvE gameplay. Same mob, same CP. So 17,500. So you can see it's pretty much the same as Shadow, right? Where with 1 hit, right, the mobs are almost dead for most of the skills, the higher damage skills. This is in fact 1 hit dead because the skill damage is so high, the range explosion. Yeah, so this is the range skill that I was talking about, the one where she throws the dagger. So her PvE is actually quite alright. I would say it's stronger than Shadow, mainly because of the area and the range that she has. For PvP, right, I'll have to test it out again, given that they have made so many changes to the class, to the darkness. So I'll do a separate video on that, and I'll try to do manual attack for you guys, since you guys have auto attack now. I suppose manual attack is more relevant. I've already set up the skill such that it's more friendly for manual attack already. Okay, so this is how she fares in PvE. I'll say it's pretty nice. And the next thing, okay, one final content I'll do, right, is the Path of Glory. So let's see how she fares as a ranged character, yeah, rather than a melee character in my Path of Glory. Okay, so let's switch to the main character. To be exact, she's both melee and range. Okay, so first off, the setup first. Path of Glory. Ah yeah, I was a bit too fast. Forgot to set the arrangement for her to be at the front, so that it's clearer how she fares. I'll say that darkness is more useful than shadow in Path of Glory right off the bat. Just looking at this, because she starts attacking much earlier with her range, and she has much bigger AoE as well. So as an alternate character, right, she is much better in that aspect. Okay, let's focus on her. We use EQ or elephant. So putting the darkness here in this position is very good, because as a ranged character, right, she will start hitting the mobs that can come out from the stairs here. And when the mob starts coming here in waves, right, she can then use her melee skills. So I'll say darkness is a really good character for Path of Glory. Shy is probably better than Reaper in Path of Glory. Okay, I can actually move the Tamer back. I moved her in front to avoid the burning damage just now. Feels like a waste to use cannon. She's soloing the mobs again. it looks like a breeze, right? It's mainly because also my CP is high lah. But when we first got the level 14 Path of Glory, right, it was actually not easy. If you make a mistake, right, you won't be able to clear up to the 10th stage. It's only after getting, typically for every Path of Glory season, that's how it is. Once you get the before you get that current season's Path of Glory medal, it's usually quite hard. But once you get it right, every member in your family gets a boost in CP, and it becomes easier from there. The elephant doesn't instant kill him, I can show you guys. It only takes away half of his health, I think. Which you will see as him dying because I already brought his health down. Oh, that's terrible. Luckily, I'm only using one ticket here. Okay, so I hope with that, right, that shows you guys enough of the shadow, how easy it is to change from shadow to darkness, and any other awakening or ascension class. And basically, right, darkness has a higher range and area effect, but slightly slower than shadow. Mobility is slightly higher due to the fact that she has 2 dash attacks. Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys the dash distance. It is actually the same as shadow. Typically, as the base class, right, your dodge does not change whether or not you are changing to awakening or ascension. It's just whether or not the skills that you have more dash skills, so to speak. So if I were to demo here, the dash is more or less the same. But there is a subtle difference where for shadow, right, her dash is, I would say her dash is slightly faster, or maybe it just looks that way because of the graphics. But this is how it looks like in terms of the dashing. I would say shadow is faster because they actually buff shadow's dash, specifically shadow's dash. But distance, as you can see, is the same as shadow. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Bye.